This is a weird math question. Now, we are asked to solve 9 double factorial, this is called double factorial, divided by 7 primorial, multiplied by 1 subfactorial. Now, we need to educate ourselves on what double factorial is all about, okay? Now, double factorial simply means, normally, a factorial, if we say 3 factorial, this simply means 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, right? Similarly, 4 factorial is 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1. But this time around, we have double factorial, okay? So double factorial simply means, for example, it depends on if we have even double factorial or odd one. For example, if we have 4 double factorial, this simply means we multiply all even numbers from 4 to 1. So it's going to be 4 multiplied by 2. Okay? Now, as when we have an odd number as our double factorial, so 5 double factorial will give us 5 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 1. That is the product of all odd numbers from 5 to 1. Now, let's go back to our question. Now, if you look at this question, you will see that what we have here is 9 double factorial, and 9 is an odd number. So this implies that 9 double factorial is equal to the product of all numbers, all odd numbers from 9 to 1. So we have 9 multiplied by 7 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 1. That is 9 double factorial. Okay, now let's talk about this 7 primorial. So let's talk about primorial, okay? All right, now if you have 7 primorial simply means the product of all prime numbers, okay? Product of all prime numbers from 7 to 1. The product of all prime numbers from 7 to 1. So that means that we can write this as to be equal to 7 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2. Okay, 1 is not a prime number, and I believe you know that. Okay, now that means that this is our 7 primorial. Now I want you to pay attention. We talk about subfactorial, 5 subfactorial. But before that, if this is the first time you are seeing this amazing channel, please click the subscription button, turn on your notification bell, so that you don't miss our amazing videos. We upload our videos every day, so tune in at your convenience to watch our new uploads, and give us a thumbs up if you actually enjoy this video. Okay, so let's continue. Remember what I said, this is what a subfactorial, and this is where I want you to pay attention. Remember that if we are asked to find 5 factorial, simply means 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Now let's also talk about 3 factorial. 3 factorial means 3 times 2 times 1, which is equal to 6. Now what is factorial? Factorial simply means, for example, 3 factorial means how many times we can arrange 3 items on a straight line. For example, if the 3 items are A, B, C, and we are asked to arrange A, B, how many times can we arrange A, B, C in a straight line? Now this is already the first arrangement. If we decide to keep A at its position and change the position of C and B, this will give us the second arrangement. Now if we decide to take B, okay, and change the position of and write AC, this is another arrangement. If we decide to retain B's position here and change the position of C and A, this will give us the 4th position. Okay, now similarly, if we write C and write our AB, this is our 5th position. If you retain C and write our BA, this is 6th position, and we are done. There is no other way we can arrange these 3 items. I notice that they are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is what 6 according to our formula, if we use our formula. But one thing is for sure, if we want to talk about 3 subfactorial, if we are discussing 3 subfactorial, this simply means how many times we can arrange 3 items. But in this case, none of the items or none of the none of these 10 items, yes, is going to return its original position. Now, according to this arrangement, the original position, A is the first, takes the first position, B takes the second position, and C takes the third position. Now, if we are to talk about 3 subfactorial, A is still taking its first position, so this will not follow. A is still taking its position here, so it will not follow. Here, B is not in its position, good. A is not in its position, good. But C is still in third position, according to the first or the original position arrangement. So this will not go. Now, B is not in its position, C is not in its position, and A is not in its position. So this will follow in our subfactorial, okay? Here, C is not in its position, A is not in its position, and B is not in its position. Wow, so this will follow as well. All right, now here C is not in its position, but look at this, B is in its position, so this will not follow. So it means that 3 subfactorial will give us just 2. Okay, now you can see the difference between a subfactorial and a factorial. So subfactorial simply means ways to arrange items in such a way that none of them is in their original position. Now there is a formula for that. Okay, now formula for 3 subfactorial, if we have 3 subfactorial, okay, this is equal to 3 factorial multiplied by 1 over 0 factorial minus 1 over 1 factorial plus 1 over 2 factorial minus 1 over 3 factorial. Now we are going to stop at 3 factorial because we are talking about 3 subfactorial. So let's use this formula to solve this to see if we are going to get 2 as well. Now we have that this is equal to, remember that 3 factorial is 6, okay? 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6. Bracket 1 over 0 factorial is 1, right? Minus 1 over 1 factorial is still 1. Plus 1 over 2 factorial is 2, minus 1 over 3 factorial is 6. So we have 6 multiplied by 1 over 1 minus 1 over 1 is 0. So we have 0 plus. Now the LCM of 2 and 6 is 6. So this can be written as 1 times 3 divided by 2 times 3 minus 1 over 6, right? So this is equal to 6 bracket 0 plus, this is 3 over 6 minus 1 over 6. So this is 6 bracket 0 plus 3 minus 1 divided by 6, okay? So this is equal to 6 bracket 0 plus 3 minus 1 is 2. So we have 2 divided by 6. All right. I hope you're enjoying this class. Now let's continue. So what we have now is 3 subfactorial is equal to, so we have 6 brackets 0 plus 2 over 6. Okay. So we have 3 subfactorial is equal to 6 brackets 2 over 6, and this we cancel this. You can see that we still get our final answer as 2, just like the way we got it to here using the manual method. Now back to the question. The question asks us for 5 subfactorial, so we are going to use our formula. All right, now 5 subfactorial is going to be equal to 5 factorial, okay, multiplied by 1 over 0 factorial minus 1 over 1 factorial plus 1 over 2 factorial minus 1 over 3 factorial plus 1 over 4 factorial minus 1 over 5 factorial. Okay, you can see that. Now let us solve. So 5 subfactorial then is equal to 5 factorial brackets. Now 1 over 0 factorial is 1 minus 1 over 1 plus 1 over 2 factorial is 2 minus 1 over 3 factorial is 6 plus 1 over, now 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, right? So 4 factorial will give us 4 times 3 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24. Now 5 factorial is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So 5 factorial is 5 times 4 is 20, 20 times 3 is 60, 60 times 2 is 120. All right, now let's substitute. So 4 factorial is 24, so this is 1 over 24 minus 1 over 5 factorial is 120. Okay. All right, now let's solve. So we have 5 subfactorial is 5 factorial brackets 1 over 1 minus 1 over 1 will give us 0. So we have 0 plus 1 over 2 minus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 24 minus 1 over 120. All right. Okay, now the LCM of 2, 6, 24 and 120 is 120. Now let's try to make all of them to have the same denominator. So we have 5 subfactorial is equal to 5 factorial bracket. Then to get 120 from 2, we multiply it by 60. So we also multiply the numerator by 60. So you are going to have 1 times 60 divided by 2 times 60, right? Minus, for 6. For us to get 6 from here, that means we have 20, right? So we multiply 6 by 20 and also multiply the numerator by 20. So we have 1 times 20 divided by 6 times 20 plus. Now we have 1 over 24. To get 120, to make 24 to be equal to 120, we multiply 24 by 5, okay? So we have 1 times 5 divided by 24 times 5. Then minus, this is already over 120. All right, now we continue. So 5 subfactorial is equal to 5 factorial bracket. 1 times 60 is 60, 2 times 60 is 120. Minus 1 times 20 is 20, 6 times 20 is 120. Plus 1 times 5 is 5, 24 times 5 is 120. Minus 1 over 120, okay? So we have 5 subfactorial is equal to 5 factorial brackets. Because they all share the same denominator, everything should be over 120. So we have 60 minus 20 plus 5 minus 1. Okay, so 5 subfactorial is equal to 5 factorial brackets. 60 minus 20 will give us 40. 40 plus 5 is 45. 45 minus 1 is 44. So we have 44 minus 120. So 5 subfactorial is equal to, now remember that 5 factorial is equal to 120. Okay, so that means we replace this with 120. Now we have 120 multiplied by 44 divided by 120. Okay, now we have 5 subfactorial is equal to, this we divide and we have 44. So it means that 5 subfactorial is equal to 44. Now let's go back to the question. The question says that we should evaluate 9 double factorial divided by 7 primorial multiplied by 5 subfactorial. So we write 9 double factorial divided by 7 primorial multiplied by 5 subfactorial. Now 9 double factorial is what? 9 times 7 times 5 times 3 times 1. So we have 9 times 7 times 5 times 3 times 1 divided by 7 primorial is 7 times 5 times 3 times 2. Okay, so we have 7 times 5 times 3 times 2. Then 5 subfactorial gave us 44. Okay, 44. So this is equal to 7, we cancel 7, 5 we divide itself, 3 we divide itself. So what we have is 9 divided by 2 multiplied by 44. So this will give us 9 multiplied by 22. Okay, and this will give us 198. So this is the answer. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.